Welcome back. Welcome back. You are listening to Whissel Wednesdays here on AM 1170. The Answer. My name is Kyle Whissel, your host with Whissel Realty, joined by Mr. Jason Hall, Team Home Loans.
Good evening.
And we've got Sonia and Chris also from the Whissel Realty team. It's good to have you guys here.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, Jason, the day that we have been waiting on.
You said the new Tesla's coming out in a couple years, but they're taking deposits effective tomorrow morning. And you want to camp out. That was the text last week. You're like, Jason, you ready to camp? Pops and Jason, you ready to camp out? And I'm like, whoa. You know, now
I'm scared to really talk about this on the air because I don't know if I want competition.
We're going to find out when we walk across the street tonight. We're going to see how many people. We're going to look and go.
We can walk over there after the show tonight and see if we need to camp out or we can go back tomorrow morning.
Right.
So if you haven't heard, Tesla is unveiling their new Model 3 tomorrow, Thursday evening. The reason that this is so appealing, Jason and I both wanted Teslas for a long time, never been able to justify the $100,000+
even though we can maybe afford it, you can't justify it.
Are you bragging right now?
No, I'm not. You might be able to afford it. No. Everybody's laughing at me, right? You know, we're just talking about minimum wage and whining about going up a couple hours, man. Go ahead and hit one of these buttons here. So, literally, money. You guys.
Keep going. Go ahead, money man.
You're right. You can't justify the Tesla. $100,000 to get a nice Tesla is how much it's been for the Model S. Beautiful car, great car, but it's $100,000 to get you from point A to point B. Right. And we see a lot of them driving around. I saw one driving in today, and I love them, but I've never been able to justify it, and I just can't do it. But this new Tesla M3.
Model 3.
It's competing with the M3. Was that what you were telling me earlier?
The performance version will compete with the M3, yes.
All right. So the Model 3 is supposed to be right around $35,000?
Starting. So the base Model 3 Tesla, you're talking $35,000 for a Tesla.
Right.
This car is going to sell like hotcakes.
And for those who don't know, Tesla's an all-electric car company. They literally have no oil in these cars, no gasoline in these cars, no radiator in these cars. So that means most of your routine stuff, think about how much time you stop and how much money we pay for gas, oil changes, getting work done, all that is gone, right? It's literally 100% electric car. And that's what I like seeing go, not only going green, but just all that saving in time and money is huge. Right, Kyle?
Absolutely.
So that's the benefit. And $35,000 starting, you know, probably the one you'll like will probably be $50,000, but still $50,000 in today's environment.
It's half of what you're paying for the current, you know, for a midline Model S right now. You're at $100,000.
And everything they've put out has been pretty quality.
Okay, so what happens to all the guys that did spend $100,000? It kind of sucks for them.
Well,
it's a
they're
different
driving around and they spend over $100,000 on a Tesla.
They still have a nicer Tesla.
I understand, but now you have all these people that, you know, driving $35,000. It sucks.
So here's the difference: is to equate this to like a BMW. The Model S, that's comparable to like a 7 Series Beamer. That's kind of who they're competing against. The Model 3, coincidentally, is competing against a 3 Series Beamer. So, you know, the 7 Series, that's another level when you go to BMW. This is a step down. This is competitor for the 3 Series BMW. But you're talking $35,000. So the way this works, they're not unveiling a prototype until I think it's 8:30 p.m. on Thursday. But the stores start taking deposits at 10 a.m. So we're stupid enough. We have such blind faith in Tesla that we might be camping our butts out.
Can't we just pay Joel?
The street at
Can't we just pay Joel? That's what I was thinking about. Like when you text me, I was like, can't we just pay Joel or Jade? Some of your buddies. We can just pay these guys like $10 an hour, right? Hang out over there. We'll give them $15. Paul, we'll give you $15 an hour, right? We'll give somebody to go out there and camp so that we can roll in at 9 o'clock with the Starbucks. Relieve the guys. Say, hey, thanks for hanging out overnight. And, still have a good spot in line, walk in, do your deposit. I'm guessing the people there might screen that are behind, but,
But here's the thing. You're throwing down a deposit on a car that you have never seen. And even once you put the deposit down, you'll see it that night. They'll have a drivable prototype is what they've said. But they're not even going to start manufacturing the car until late 2017, which Tesla has never come close to hitting
They're down timelines. Yeah.
So odds are it's going to be sometime in 2018 before you possibly are even purchasing the car. So you got to put a deposit down in March 2016 to buy a car at some point, unknown date, probably 2018, maybe even 2019 with the way things have gone for Tesla in the past. But they have built such an amazing brand that people have blind faith.
Hey, it's just like you guys haven't seen it, and it happened when early in my career. People used to camp out to get new homes. And again, these were homes that you knew were going to be built well in a nice area, and everybody wanted new construction, and people would camp out for days to get in a lottery, just to get picked in a lottery. And that's kind of what this is like for Tesla. Even though we might be first in line, Kyle, we're not guaranteed to be first, because guess who gets to go first, who has a higher priority over us? Those are the ones who already own a Tesla. That's how Tesla's put out. If you own a Tesla, you have priority over someone who doesn't own a Tesla. So they're still trying to sell their current inventory like, hey, if you want to get further up the line, go ahead and spend $80,000 to $100,000 on one of our other cars today.
Do you think it depreciates? Do you think it depreciates all the $100,000 Teslas now that people are like, okay, I have an option. The reason why you want to drive a Tesla because I want to drive a Tesla. So what happens to all the ones that are $100,000 or $80,000? Do you think it depreciates?
Not my problem. I'm getting a Model 3.
I don't think it will depreciate, but it's a good point, right? Because there's a cheaper model out there now. It is not as fast and doesn't look as good, but it is newer and it still says Tesla. It's a good point. Right. I haven't really thought about it, but I see where you're going.
It's going to be interesting. So speaking of leading things in advance, I want to kind of shift gears and shift over to some real estate talk. This Tesla right now, people are putting a deposit down for a car they're not going to get for 2 or 3 years because, they just have confidence in Tesla. They've got confidence in the product and the technology and all of that. But right now in the real estate game, there's kind of a similar opportunity because there's writing on the wall of what's happening in our real estate market. And there's huge opportunities for people to take advantage of that, just like our goal is to take advantage of getting a new Tesla before anybody else knows about it. Because when Friday comes and all the media coverage hits, everybody's going to go to Tesla Friday and want to put a deposit down. Jason and I are going to be the smart ones who already got our deposit in before anybody even knows about the car. There's a similar opportunity happening in real estate right now. I'm putting 2 deposits down just to be safe. There's a similar opportunity in real estate right now with what's happening with the market. And if you're watching everything that the news channels are reporting, they're always reporting what we refer to as lagging indicators. They're talking about what has happened typically 2, 3, sometimes 4 or 5 months ago in the real estate industry. What's happening in the industry today is probably not going to get reported by the media until
2 to 4 months away.
June, July, August. The reason for that is, for example, we put a house in escrow. Let's say we put something in escrow on Friday, April 1st. We do a 60-day escrow on that property. That means it's not closing until June 1st. At the end of June, once we hit July, they're going to look back at all the numbers from June, and they're going to say, here's the average price, and here's how many homes sold in June. And they're going to report that. Sometimes they get those numbers out in July. Sometimes those numbers don't make it out until August. So what we're saying is something could happen this week, and it's not going to get reported by the media until July at the earliest, possibly not even until August. So what we want to do when you're listening to our show is really get you an inside track, let you know what's coming down the pike, as opposed to reacting to it after it's already, passed you by. And so what we like to focus on at Whissel Realty is the leading indicators. Just like, we got the leading indicator on the Tesla. We know it's coming and we know what it's going to cost and what we got to do to take advantage of it. And that's what we're going to do. We want to position you as a listener of our show to do the same thing. So the leading indicators that we're tracking right now are 3 primary things. Number 1, how many new homes are coming on the market? That's up about 3% from a year ago. That's pretty normal. We start every month from January to February, February to March, and all the way through until about July. We typically see more homes hitting the market. That's normal. What's different, though, is the number of homes going off the market into escrow is up 10%. So let's just say, you've got, $100 bills in front of you. So we're going to put 3 new dollar bills in there and take 10 out.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Less and less inventory.
There's less dollar bills in front of you, where what we refer to in real estate is less inventory. So now there's less homes for people to choose from. So whenever you have a situation like that happen, that's naturally going to lead to prices rising. But if you look at the numbers the media is reporting right now, they're talking about appreciation of like 6% over the last year. We're probably going to see 6% over the next 3 months. But you're not going to hear about that until it's already happened. And so that's what we want to do, is position you as a listener of the show to take advantage of what's coming. And that's why we've got Chris and Sonia here in the studio to give you guys some tips on how you can take advantage of this market. So we're in a super low inventory market. We've got about 2 months supply of homes for sale. Traditionally, we want to see about 6 months of supply in a balanced market. So it's a very, very low inventory market. But for those of you guys that are able to get offers accepted in this market, you're positioning yourself for a lot of success as the market starts to increase. So Sonia, what are some of the things you're doing to help your buyers get their offers accepted right now?
Recently, I showed a property, and I asked them. I mean, they fell in love with it right away. And there were 75 calls in the first hour. It was only on the market for 3 hours. They wanted the house. I had him stand outside the house with her pregnant belly and her husband. And I did a small, just a short video on my cell phone. And I submitted that with the offer. And that's what got him the house. I mean, obviously everything else too, but you know, we want to stand out. We want to do something that stands out. And they fell in love with the couple, and we did something different, and they picked them over, 10, 15 offers.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love that. And you're just seeing a lot of that right now. I mean, 10, 15, 20 offers is not uncommon in this market. So we're going to head to a break. When we get back, I want to talk with Chris and Sonia from Whissel Realty a little bit more about some other tips. If you're thinking about getting into home ownership right now and buying a home, and you want some tips on how to get your offer accepted above everybody else, stay tuned. You're listening to Whissel Wednesdays here on AM 1170, The Answer.